So, as we all know, Joe Biden has met with Donald Trump, as is tradition. Customarily, we saw Obama meet with Trump as well. But what we want to know is, aside from the 90 seconds they spent on camera together, is what happened in the 2 hours where they were not taped, and there's very few details. Let's get what we can find out of this. So, first and foremost, let's kind of bask in what happened here. Okay, so obviously this sort of political event is a photo op for sure, but it's also a dynamic point of view that I have that says that realistically we have two people here that believe that they won the 2020 election, and yet obviously Joe Biden has been the president, but Donald Trump also won against the Democrats, against Biden's VP of all people. And so it's a very interesting dynamic, like I said. As you can see here, comment down below what you think of this body language. Obviously, Joe seems to be smirking the whole time. Could it be because he's trying to act cocky despite knowing that he didn't become a second-term president like even Donald Trump or his younger mentor Obama ended up being? So is that something that he holds against himself? Is he seething about that? Is he kind of projecting a smile on his face despite the fact that he's really disappointed in that fact? Or could it be that he's just happy that Trump won? Comment down below what you think. Now, Trump's obviously mid conversation, so we can't really read what he's saying there. Obviously, we have this picture with Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and Jill. Jill Biden, who I hate notoriously. She's a first lady who apparently has been more active in her role that's completely unelected, by the way, more so than any first lady in history, aside from that one time, I think, was it Harding that had a stroke or Calvin Coolidge and the wife took over? Or was it? Anyway, the point being is that obviously the first lady's not supposed to have any say, but apparently there's this whole micro drama of Jill Biden who, for whatever reason, hates Harris, which I can believe. So Kamala doesn't get along with the first lady, Jill. But what Jill Biden has going for her, and not really, is that Melania Trump denied and actually forewent this whole meeting that the first ladies also do. Of course, historically, nobody cares if, George Bush's first lady meets with Al Gore's or whatever. Who cares? Nobody. But Melania with Jill Biden, for whatever reason, Melania could not go to this thing, probably because she hates Jill, and frankly, I do too, so we got that in common. But basically, Jill Biden gave Donald Trump a letter for Melania because she couldn't make it. Interesting. I wonder what's in it. But anyway, so comment down below what you think about this body posture as well. Seems like Trump does a good smile. Biden's eyes are so small at this point, I don't even know how to read it. So as we can see here, obviously we have a moment in time here where they're meeting, and again, it's a very awkward dynamic.
Exhibited warmth.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. And looking forward to having like we said, smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
good.
Welcome
Thank you
back.
very much. And thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. A transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Jim.
You're welcome.
They conferred in the Oval.
That's interesting. Obviously, nothing too crazy there, though. Obviously, it's very awkward given the fireplace takes up so much of the audio. Frankly, my autism is peaking. Though this picture, obviously, I don't know. Maybe I'm a nerd, but this sort of thing, seeing two presidents, so to speak, interacting is so interesting to me.
Office for nearly 2 hours, discussing domestic issues, plus the wars in the Middle East and
So mind you, people took pictures of this sort of thing, but they didn't record it. I guess that's part of the rule. I don't know. I think it's lame, honestly. But anyway, so they're supposed to be talking about big issues, and we're about to address what they actually covered line by line. Obviously, to the left of the screen, if I hide myself real quick, you'll notice that it is incoming Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, and then on the right of the screen, I'm hiding him, but I think the guy's name is Jeff Zients for Joe Biden, and so they're talking about Ukraine and stuff like this, Middle East. But
Ukraine.
President Biden reinforced his view that the United States standing with Ukraine on an ongoing basis is in our national security interest.
The meeting was designed to launch the kind of seamless transition Trump didn't give Biden in 2020 as he challenged the election results. January 6th would then set off a firestorm, with Trump skipping President Biden's inauguration. The turmoil set.
Okay, so of course, liberal media, this is CBS, will pepper in their little BS sort of talk. I'm a homer for Trump, obviously, so what? Oh, you didn't go to the formality for Biden in 2020. Yeah, that's a baller move, actually. Trump didn't do the same thing for Biden, and Biden's extending the welcome back to Trump. So if anything, Trump is winning here. You could say, it's not fair. Suffer. That's what we said in 2020, and guess what? Did they help us at all? No. Joe was president, and that worked out so beautifully, in fact, that he wasn't even able to retain the nomination for his own party that he got 14 million votes for. And then beyond that, you got the DEI candidate, Kamala Harris, who, cackles aside, was a joke of a candidate, frankly. And so she's just got destroyed, mollywhooped, as I predicted. So
setting the tone for this year's bitter election. Now, traditionally,
okay, now this is just an aside, and bear with me before we get into the transcript, but this annoys me like crazy.
Actually, the First Lady also hosts a tea for her incoming successor, but Melania Trump didn't come today. Dr. Jill Biden gave Trump a handwritten letter of congratulations for Mrs. Trump and said she's ready to assist with her transition.
Okay, you see how Jill Biden tries to force herself on everything? Don't you hate it when somebody tries to do that? Come on. Jill Biden was voted by absolutely nobody to be in any sort of modicum of power. The role of First Lady is probably just to, I don't know, help the president emotionally, I guess, if you want to be sappy. Like, what the hell are we talking about? Okay, do Christmas decorations, and that's about it. Folks, Jill Biden's like, oh, and this is always passive aggressive old lady stuff, but it's penultimately, oh, we're going to send you this letter that's unnecessary. And it'll say something along the lines of, oh, Melania, I'll help you with the transition to First Lady, like as if what, you're going to share dresses or something? Like what the hell is the First Lady transition like? What? So am I crazy? Women in chat, am I crazy? Comment down below. Am I crazy about this? First Lady transition help. Sounds kind of gross when you think about it. Transition help. Anyway. Folks, so I find this very interesting. So the New York Post has some documentation as to what Trump said in a phone interview as he was leaving Washington, D.C. So post meeting Biden for about 2 hours, Donald Trump said that both him and President Biden enjoyed seeing each other. Okay, and he also said in quote that it's been a long slog. So that's interesting. And then he also said, it's been a lot of work on both sides, and he did a very good job with respect to campaigning and everything else. We really had a really good meeting. Now, this is interesting because both sides are giving each other pleasantries where obviously the past years it's been anything but. And so you would really think to yourself that, wow, are they just like postulating? Or are they all just trying to sweep it up for each other, making sure that, I don't know, that they look good in front of the press? And it's a little bit of that, of course. Politics is very much about perception. But I also do think, and this is my conspiracy, is that Joe Biden is sincerely more amenable to Trump and vice versa. I think that they both have a shared hatred of Kamala Harris. I think they both view themselves as more competent men, but namely politicians, than Kamala Harris. I think they both see Kamala Harris as a ladder climber, one that doesn't deserve her position, and they resent her for getting even close to the presidency to begin with. Joe Biden, if you know anything, was basically constrained by the progressive politic of the 2020 election that made it so that he had to pick a woman, and preferably a woman of color, to be the vice president. And now he was stuck with a person who was the only one that could have inherited the Biden campaign cash, hundreds of millions of dollars, presumably. And she sucked. So he was binded to Kamala, who again attacked him in the primary, if you remember, 5 years ago. And now Joe had to deal with her. And mind you, Joe Biden, an unpopular president, historically, no debate. But folks, she was in his shadow, not because she was his sidekick, but because she was a sidekick that was less popular than him. Okay? Talk about grabbing somebody's coattails. The girl was literally behind Biden in popular polling up until the election, and there was a whole astroturf of the blue wave, and that obviously did not work out for them. But still, I think they're both guys that are bonding over, and this is somewhat analogous to two guys that had an ex-girlfriend and they both are crapping on her. That's basically what Kamala is, and frankly, you add Willie Brown to the discussion and you could have a nice round table that you could film, because obviously there's a lot to complain about the vice president. So that is amazing to watch. So one of the final details that leaked into the press was that Trump said, I asked for his views and he gave them to me, Trump told the Post. Also, we talked very much about the Middle East. Likewise, I wanted to know his views on where we are and what he thinks, and he gave them to me. He was very gracious. Now, again, with the motif of they're both kind of helping each other out here, scratching each other's back, saying, oh, nice transition, congratulations, welcome back, Donald. And then Trump saying, oh, Biden's a nice guy. And also, given the fact that, again, Joe's mental acuity is anything but acutely intelligent, the guy's clearly slipping, folks. it's pretty likely that Trump probably witnessed the guy stutter, and by stutter I mean forget what he's saying, and he didn't mention it here. So either Joe is more cognizant than before, which dementia doesn't work that way, or maybe Kamala losing really gave him a second wind of manic energy. Aside from what I just said, though, let's address what was written here. And frankly, so yeah, they talked about the Middle East. They didn't get into details, but that also shows that not so much that, oh, politics is so corrupt, they don't talk about it. It's more so that they're both, again, like homies. And this is somewhat, I think it's kind of cute, and call me gay, but it's, I don't know, there's a novelty to this. But then beside it, obviously Joe Biden, just for the record, is a crappy president. He's an opportunist. He's selfish. He's done innumerable bad things. His son's done a horrible job at being an adult, frankly. The daughter as well. So he's been an awful parent, frankly, from what I can tell. Joe Biden's an awful person. Okay, that aside, though, this is freaking hilarious, okay, folks? So to wrap up the article, Trump also revealed that he and Biden are expecting to see each other again right before the inauguration. In fact, the Democratic incumbent, in this case Biden, has already said he would attend. Now, Kamala, on the other hand, we've yet to hear from. But Trump says, the Oval Office is so beautiful, and I do certainly look forward to coming back. Also, we'll have that very, very nice meeting that takes place between two presidents sometime prior. You know, that takes place just prior to going in. So we'll have that. But this was a very enjoyable meeting. So there you go. Alrighty, folks. So let's end on a high note. This is one of the best memes I've seen of Joe Biden. I swear, this is so funny. So of course, that's just brilliant to me, okay, folks? So we're wrapping up with that brilliant smile, okay? You hate the guy for 4 years, but frankly, giving him a break is so pleasant to feel. I mean, that sort of smile, knowing that he basically just sabotaged Kamala Harris at every turn, whether it be by being a horrible president overall, and then having her obviously run on that record as the VP on the ticket, but also keeping in mind that he made her border czar, so then she had to own that big L, that big loss. And then beside that, he also had the whole Puerto Rican gaffe where he called Trump supporters garbage, and inspired Trump to have a wardrobe change for once and wearing the trash man suit. I mean, the guy really did hand Trump the presidency. And so when he said welcome back, I think he really meant it, folks. And so anyways, I'll see y'all on the next one. Adios.